Hello there. Good evening. I hope you've all had a wonderful Sunday. I've had plenty of time to rest, and this week we will be doing things a little bit differently than we have before. Today, we'll be playing Oblivion. Let me know if that audio is way too loud, because it's definitely blaring in my ears right now. Let's start with the most important bit by turning down the music. I actually don't think that has any effect on the main menu.
I was born 87 years ago.
I'll just be quiet for this one.
Years I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land.
This was always a classic. This was one of the launch titles for the Xbox 360. I spent way too much time playing this game. I can't remember how many my first save file had. I only really ever played one character.
These are the closing days of the Third Era, and the final hours of my life.
Goodness, that is still extremely loud in my ears. No matter. You don't need to be able to hear to play this game. You only need to be able to read. Hopefully. It's interesting seeing those 2008 trees, and the fact that they're still mostly just polygons and double digits. Hello and welcome to the stream. We're getting into character creation here. Is there anything y'all would like to see? I have speculated installing some character modifications, but half of the charm of Oblivion itself is just because everyone looks like one of my failed experiments. There's a reason I'm not a biologist. Personally, I'm partial to orcs or possibly a dark elf. I think that'll be fun. Let's go with that. Now, are you wanting an absolute freak show of a character? I absolutely agree with that. It wouldn't be Oblivion if it wasn't destroying your ears. Just like Guilty Gear has been doing. I'm going to find whatever hair matches mine closely enough. That's not too shabby. Definitely matches my receding hairline. Ooh. I like this one. It's particularly crazy. A shame that elves only get certain hairstyles and you can't put them on other characters. My original character was a Breton, and so I didn't get enough of an experience with some of the wackier elven hairstyles we have here. Huh. You know, this one, it almost has my forehead curl. You see, there's this one little part in the middle. I think we'll go with it. Would anyone object to a dark elf, or do we prefer a different race? I think the simple boost to destruction, most of our offensive skills might be what we're going for. Yeah, we don't care about natural hair colors. Not here. Somewhat of a dark red. I suppose that matches well enough. We don't want it to be too bright. My cat is currently attacking the curtains. He has a bone to pick. What are you doing? Fine. I'll open the windows for him. They only give you one eye option for Dark Elves, unfortunately. Naturally red eyes on every single one of them. These characters always looked atrocious. Interesting that they turn greener as they get older. Though I think that's mostly because all of these sliders on here are intersectional in some way. I think that shall do well enough. Certainly does capture my elven features, what with the sharp and pointy chin. Perhaps I may start a new playthrough eventually. One where I install a character overhaul to make everyone look less like zombies. I need those cheekbones to be extremely pronounced. There we go. That's a good, strong elven face right there. Plenty of point. Cheeks are definitely concave. No, he must look as sinister as I am. Get the jaw. Have it point out a lot. There we go, excellently. You know, it's funny, this was 2006 that we had this character creation. When did the first Dark Souls come out? 2011, I believe? And it still had a very similar system to this. They did not advance much in those 5 years. Funny, Skyrim was actually at the same time, but they had a much better character creation. With a lot of modding, you can actually make it exceptional. So long as we can capture my majestically large forehead, I think we'll be fine. Crank that up to... oh, goodness. Maybe not up to the max. That's more of a cartoonish exaggeration at this point. Perhaps if we could bring out the nose a little bit more. There we go. Now watch him be even more atrocious. Oh, goodness. Perhaps not. I think that is good enough for a beginning. Once we get my sinister glare in there. Not too sinister. I still need to look pretty at the end of the day. Yeah, all of those sliders get to remain somewhat around the center where they're not atrocious. We don't need to be going for any lore accurate names here. Let's get straight into the action. I picked the Dark Elf to capture my sort of angular facial features.
Kinsman, I haven't seen another Dunmer in here, and I don't know how long. Where you from, huh? Vardenfell? You got a wife back home?
Most important part is we're going to need subtitles. Which menu are they on? There we go. Gameplay. Most other games will put them in the video section.
I'm getting out of here in a couple of weeks. When I get back to Morrowind, I'll look her. She must be so lonely. Don't you worry, eh? I'll I'll take care of her long after you're dead. Oh, that's right. You're going to die. Hey, you hear that?
He keeps cutting himself off.
For you.
What's he in a rush for?
Lock that door behind us.
My sons, they're dead.
I wouldn't call it a big brain moment. I would call every moment of my waking existence a big brain moment.
I know it.
My job right now is to get you to safety. What's this prisoner doing here? This cell is supposed to be off limits.
Usual mix-up at the watch.
Never mind. Get that gate open. Stand back, prisoner.
That's Wes Johnson's voice, I believe. I've always loved it.
Stay put, prisoner.
Good. Let's go. We're not out of this yet.
You. I've seen you.
Yeah, the Dark Elf dialogue is appropriately dark for these Dumner.
Then the stars were right. And this is the day.
Hello, Patrick
Gods
Stewart.
give me strength.
Is it a spoiler at this point in 2021, 15 years later, to announce that this character dies? I wouldn't think so.
Assassins attacked my sons, and I am next.
The intro
My
already
blades
spoiled
leading
that.
me out of the city along a secret escape route. By chance, the entrance to that escape route leads through your cell.
I think the more important question is about
Perhaps the
me,
gods have
not
placed
you.
here so that we may meet. As for what you have done, it does not matter. That is not what you will be remembered for.
My cat is continuing to make noise. Please let me know if you're actually hearing that on the mic.
I am your
It might
emperor,
be cancelled out by the
Uriel
noise
Septim.
cancellation,
By the grace of the
because
gods,
it
I
is
serve
definitely
Tamriel as her ruler.
noise.
You are a citizen of
You little
Tamriel,
fiend.
and you too shall serve her in your own way.
I always go
So
my
do
own
we
way.
all. But what path can be avoided whose end is fixed by the almighty gods?
I don't believe in
We
determinism.
must keep moving.
Your fate is always in your
Better not
hands,
close this one. There's no way
not by some divine right.
This doesn't concern you, prisoner.
Lucky day it is. I do believe they reset your controls even on a new save file. There we go. Activate space. I'd prefer not. Cast, I will apparently be unable to map to a mouse button. I remember being able to modify these settings previously. I don't know if I required a mod for that. That should be good enough. Oh, there it is. Mouse. Lock. Cast. Should be good to go. Indeed. Now we get to begin. Out of my way, I have an escape to make. We will be plagued by the prompts throughout the tutorial. Suppose it would be good to waste my magic of all that we can while we're here.
The captain's down.
Did she die in one hit? I mean, even if that's scripted, that's absurd. Rule 1 of Oblivion. Put on those sick robes the instant the game starts. I'd love to leave my hair flowing in the wind, so we're not putting on that hood just yet. They don't have any value to them either, so there's no point in selling them at a later time.
We will get you out of here. They won't be the first to underestimate the blades.
Always wondered what's behind that door. This is PC, so we could check, but I'm not going to do that on an official playthrough. Perhaps if the game starts breaking, we could start breaking it more. What build do you think we should be going for? Stealth, magic, combat? Roughly equivalent to a mad scientist would be a wizard. So perhaps we'll give that a try. Our starter equipment. I don't need an iron dagger. Bows are also useless. And fists are doing just fine. I completely agree with your sentiments, Leviathan. Space is the universal jump key. I think we can get away with using Captain Renault's katana here. Pardon me, I was stuttered by those chiseled features. I shouldn't be staring at myself. It recommended you hit the bucket with the arrow, and I suppose it's a ritual at this point. Seems it's buffering me releasing the mouse button. I'm trying to click on your prompt, excuse you. What should we go, blade or blunt? I think blades overall have better weapons, but the single best weapon in the game would probably be a spoiler weapon from the Shivering Isles. When you find it, it'll actually be attuned to whatever your current maximum skill is. Goodness, that is loud. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Arrows are important. I will take the heavy armor because we can carry it. Though I haven't prior done a stealth build in Oblivion. I might be willing to do that. Ah, I forgot. That's why those brats were averse to attacking us. There's a much bigger problem to deal with here. Isn't that a little odd, though? Why would there be a zombie in the sewers? What's your story, buddy? What's your story? How did he wander in here? And more importantly, why is he undead? Perhaps he fell through the hole here? How long has our fellow been undead? I always love that they leave little holes for light. They're remarkably kind with the lighting they provide to you in this game. Even in the darkest of dungeons. But this is the tutorial, so that's what we'll have to deal with. They're going to be a lot nicer to us at the beginning of the game. Pick up everything edible, because it will still be just as edible as it was when it was dropped down here 20 years ago. Huh, an extra grade up there. We might actually be somewhere below one of the districts in the Imperial City. That could very well be food that someone dropped down here. Always look in every nook and cranny. You'll find chests that you weren't able to find before. An interesting perspective is that understanding game design will actually make you better at playing games. Once you start thinking like a game designer, you know where to find secrets. thinking from their perspective, you get a feel of where something might be placed in an obscure corner. We're just going to take the rat meat. We might do alchemy. I would like to hear some opinions in the chat. What is appropriate of your smug science boy? I'll already say I definitely need to invest in destruction. I don't enjoy Oblivion unless I'm chucking lightning bolts at people. Well, that's useless. That's one thing we might not even take. I was prepared. Also, let me know if the game is too dark or too bright. This game does have a gamma setting. Flawed ruby, good to sell. I'm not going to read a single one of those prompts. I believe that marks roughly the halfway point. Going through that first loading screen. Ah yes, the sneaking opportunity. I will definitely take it. It's not a good Elder Scrolls playthrough unless you're being sociopathic about it, so let's mark that down on the list as well. Sneak. So we can get into places we're not wanted. You know every classic RPG requires you to loot as much as you possibly can. Coming here from the perspective of a game designer, they placed an enemy here to catch your attention and demonstrate with a show not tell what happens when someone steps over a tripwire. When you're positioned here, he will inevitably step over the tripwire in his pursuit of you and bring down the traps behind him. Not necessarily that they would hit him, but just to demonstrate to you, hey, look out for tripwires. They will be rigged up to a trap. I've played a lot of Elder Scrolls in my time. In fact, it was modding Elder Scrolls games that mostly got me interested in game design. And programming in a sense afterwards. Knowing how this is made and how you can build upon it. Or, more importantly, how you can exploit it. You might see Morrowind on this content, or you might see Morrowind content on this channel as well. In that game, it's too many exploits to count. That's right, we're going to take every single lockpick we can find. They're going to take this katana from us, so we'll hold on to it. It's doing a remarkable amount of damage for the early game. And there's our first over-encumbered notification. I don't think we'll need that axe. I'll be honest with you, we won't even need the bow. Those arrows are something we could sell for a hefty price at the beginning of the game, however. You know, given our investment in magic and possibly with sneak, I don't think we'll need the armor as well. the heavier armor. Don't give up the wrist irons. There's only 4 or 5 of them in the game. They're also the only hand item that counts as clothing and not as armor. So if you equip yourself with any sort of armor, you have a maximum cap of 95% spell effectiveness. We're currently at 70%, 76% because our light armor skill is not very high. Once you get your armor skills very high, this will max out at 95%. But that happens if you wear even a single piece of armor. So, if you want to... Excuse me for a second. So, if you're interested in maxing out your magical capabilities, you will need to not be wearing any armor whatsoever. So likely a shirt, pants, something on your head. Many hoods will work for that purpose. But on your hands, wrist irons are the only items you can wear on your hands without reducing your spell effectiveness. And accordingly, you can enchant each and every one of those articles of clothing. Gives a very interesting implication too. Could you imagine the strongest champion in Cyrodiil just wearing simple clothes and a couple of iron bands on his wrists? Some sort of kung fu ninja, perhaps.
He might be working with the assassins.
No, he is not one of them. He can help us.
He raises his hand there, and I don't think anyone else uses that animation in the entirety of the game.
I'd prefer not to have to shout. They cannot understand why I trust you. They've not seen what I've seen. How can I explain? Listen.
Very slowly,
You know the
please.
Nine, how they guide our fates with an invisible hand.
Of the free market? Possibly. I'm definitely
I've
not
served
on
the
good
Nine
terms with
all
any
my days,
deities
and
myself.
I chart my course by the cycles of the heavens. The skies are marked with numberless sparks, each a fire, and every one a sign. I know
His
these
dialogue
things
is
well,
awfully
and I
poetic.
wonder which sign marked your birth.
Here's one of the very important choices for us to make. Do we have any preferences here? The thief was always the optimal choice because of that luck bonus. Wonder if we should go for a 5-5-1 playthrough. I'm not that optimized, I'll be honest. Interesting that the steed, or the thief, gives you a total 30-point bonus. While similar abilities will give us only 20 total. 10 to your willpower and endurance, 10 to your strength and endurance. Steed grants you a bonus of 20 to your speed. The thief is a level above them all because it grants 30 total points, even though luck is somewhat less important.
The signs I read show
We'll
the
have an
end of my
opportunity to
path.
change that later.
My death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
Come closer, said Patrick Stewart while walking to you instead.
Your stars are not mine. Today the thief
You see, he
will guide
didn't
your
walk to
steps
me.
on the road to
He just
destiny.
spoke with such British authority that the entire universe shifted towards him, bringing me closer.
My dreams grant me no opinions of success. Their compass ventures not beyond the doors of death. But in your face I behold the sun's companion. The dawn of Akatosh's bright glory may banish the coming darkness. With such hope, and with the promise of your aid, my heart must be satisfied.
Satisfy it I will, no matter how old it is. Just so long as I don't have to defibrillate you.
No trophies of my triumphs precede me, but I have lived well, and my ghost shall rest easy.
My God, indeed.
Men are but flesh and blood.
The
They
god
know
of this
their
universe is
doom,
definitely Patrick
but
Stewart.
not the hour. In this, I am blessed to see the hour of my death, to face my apportioned fate, then fall.
Certainly seems to be playing this up a bit.
A tongue shriller than all the music calls me.
I
You
never
shall
forgot
follow
that
me
line.
for a
That
while.
specific one is...
Then we must
I love it. A tongue shriller than all the music calls me. I think Boris is supposed to talk to us, but he's not
You
gonna...
may as well make yourself useful. Carry that torch and stick close.
There it is.
Stick close and let us do our job, and you'll be all right.
Sometimes they have potions for me to take. Sometimes. We're not going to need more than one copy of the robes, however. I wish they gave more enchantability to items that occupy more than one slot.
Take them down.
For example, enchanting your own mage robes is actually somewhat less efficient. Robes in this game occupy the top and bottom halves of yourself, but you can only put a single enchantment on those robes. You can be a much more powerful mage if you just enchant a shirt and pants separately, which is a shame because it's cool having some wizard robes. The Mythic Dawn robe is even more extreme because it also occupies your hand and feet slots. That snazzy dark red. And yet it's one of the least useful items you can wear. Even enchanting yourself. We already came this way. One of the other locked debug doors. Also, speaking from a game design perspective, those doors might only have a single box behind them. I don't imagine they have an entire network down here.
Hold on.
Hope you are all enjoying the stream so far.
Let me take a look.
The tutorial, unfortunately, usually takes an hour to get through. But this is just so important to the story. I couldn't dare skip it.
We're almost through to the sewers.
We're doing a vanilla playthrough until we get a bigger following and I can get a much more educated opinion on how I should be playing this game. I have the unofficial patches installed, but that would be it. Nothing else for quality of life.
Crap! What about that side passage back there?
A trap, he says. Thank you, Wes Johnson. Make peace.
It's a dead end.
Come
I have to speak to you
Your
one last
destiny is
time.
bound up with mine, and with the fate of Tambriel itself.
We already know what's going to happen here.
I don't know. I don't see any good options here. They're behind us. Wait here, sire. Wait here with the Emperor. Guard him with your life.
Yes, sir. Can I rob him? I can look in his inventory. There's nothing to take, though. He'll just continue smiling.
My gods are strong and true, but even the might of the blades cannot stand against the power that rises to destroy us. The Prince of Destruction awakes. born
Hello
anew
there.
in blood
Welcome
and
to the stream.
fire.
We're just
His
beginning.
cutthroats are but his mortal pawns. Take my amulet. Give it to Joffrey. I have a secret son, and Joffrey alone knows where to find him. Find the
Does he
last of
even
my
tell you
blood
where to
and
find
close
Joffrey?
shut the marble jaws
He just tells you to
of
find
Oblivion.
Joffrey.
This is where my journey ends. For you, though, the road is long and dangerous. Now, give me your hand.
You don't have a buzzer, do you? I don't remember this dialogue. Is this part of the unofficial patch? Or is this simply a dialogue tree I don't usually participate in? His skincare is being a septum and having very powerful dragon blood. That's how he gets by looking so beautiful in his old age. Farewell, Patrick Stewart.
Stand true, my friend.
You are very important to
May
me.
your heart be your guide, and the gods grant you strength.
I can't move.
Stranger, you chose a bad...
That's just so 2006.
Take you.
Oh, that was quick. Funny how you're forced to just sit there and watch.
We failed. I failed. The Blades are sworn to protect the Emperor, and now he and all his heirs are dead. The amulet. Where's the Amulet of Kings? It wasn't on the Emperor's body. Strange. He saw something in you. Trusted you. They say it's the dragon blood that flows through the veins of every septum.
Like I said, that's how his skin stays so youthful and healthy.
The Amulet of Kings is a sacred symbol of the Empire. Most people think of the red dragon crown, but that's just jewelry.
I don't think that crown is ever
only a true heir
important.
of blood can wear it, they say.
I don't know if you ever see it.
Reason. Did he say why?
Yes, I'm afraid Patrick Stewart dies. Title drop.
Joffrey? He said that? Why? Nothing I ever heard about. But Joffrey would be the one to know. He's the Grand Master of my order.
Alright, he knows
Although you may
Joffrey as
not
well.
think so to meet him,
So he knows
he
where to
lives
send
quietly
us.
as a monk at Waynon Priory, near the city of Coral. First, you need
What
to
if
get
your
out.
boy Boris didn't know?
Through that door must be the entrance to the sewers, past the locked gate.
Would
That's
Uriel
where we're
Septim
headed.
have sent us on a wild goose
It's
chase?
a secret way out of the Imperial City.
Looking
Well,
all through
suppose-
Cyrodiil for a single person named
Here, You'll
Joffrey.
need this key for the last door into the sewers. There are rats and goblins down there, but from what I've seen of you, I'm guessing you're an experienced warrior. Am I right?
Close, but no dice. No cigar either. Here is where we are at the most important part of our character creation. What would you like to see? I think we should create our own class rather than pick from what's already there. Something appropriate of a scientist like myself. Which of these skills will we be using the most? Interesting that athletics is considered combat. You think it would be more of a stealth skill versus, say, marksman was more codified under the combat tree in later games, such as when you get the warrior stone in Skyrim. It was on the border between combat and stealth, though, so it's sort of on the border. There are a few skills that you'll notice in Skyrim if you look at the way the skills are ordered on your perk screen. There's some of them that are just in between the categories, and those are the sort of skills that have some overlap. Between magic and warrior, you have enchanting. Between magic and stealth, you have alchemy. And between, if I remember correctly, between stealth and combat, you have archery. I foresee myself doing a more magical focus, of course. What shall we do here? I think I'll go with the luck bonus, just for a good laugh. Affects how quickly you regenerate magicka. That's another interesting feature of the game. Intelligence will always be better than willpower, because your magic regeneration is based off of what portion of magicka you use. So if you fortify your maximum magicka cap, you will regenerate magicka quicker anyway. And we come to the most difficult set of decisions to make. Destruction, easy. Sneak, easy. The rest, we will have to figure out. It would probably be good to pick between blade, block, or blade, blunt, and hand-to-hand, but from previous times that I've tried to play hand-to-hand builds, it hasn't gone very well for me. Welcome to the stream. We're doing character creation here. Let me know what suggestions you'd have. Alchemy might be appropriate. I'm personally not much of a chemist, but in-universe, supposedly it's a lot easier to understand. After all, you just mash a bunch of fruit together and you get a health potion. Let's give it a go. If we're going to be sneaking, it's definitely useful to make some good poisons. Blade generally has better weapon options overall, so I think we'll take that as well instead of Blunt. Blunt might actually have some better choices if we were going a full warrior build, but since we are stealthing, Blade will let us use any weapons from daggers for stealth attacks, or even larger swords if we're wanting to do a two-handed build. It just gives us the most versatile set of weapons, and still very good weapons in any case. Alteration has classically been one of my favorites just for the shield spells or utility. Opening locks, that's also very important. Feather is probably one of the best effects you can get from here. It's extremely cheap, and I think the maximum level feather spell that you can craft yourself is only an apprentice level spell. I'm not going to spec indirect restoration because we're going to be doing this a lot. And knowing how the leveling system is extremely jank in this game, we're not wanting to pick any skills we're going to level up too often. I suppose that is a bit of a hypocritical note because I'm picking all the skills that I'd be using regularly, but restoration we're going to be using just casually all the time. I think a good balance of picking a few skills that you will be using that are relevant to your combat abilities would be good. But your other skills, like alchemy, let's deselect those. If we spend time leveling up those skills when there are major skills, that will force us to level up. And the level scaling from this game will cause everything to get stronger around us accordingly. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're doing character creation. This is a very important thing for us to be focusing on. Let me know what suggestions you have. You know what? I'm going to go with Conjuration. That's one of the fastest leveling skills, and for a mad scientist like myself, I think it would be good to have an army of strange monsters at my side. We have, what, 3 more skills to learn? I suppose this is where we could invest in skills that we want to be better at the start. Things that have a little bit of utility to them. Illusion is another good skill, even if just for Paralyze late game. Light's been good. Chameleon will help us sneak as well. Charm is useful. Silence. I haven't ever experimented much with fear or command spells. Especially if you are wearing armor that'll actually reduce your spell effectiveness, and you won't be able to command quite as well. That's where you end up getting hit the hardest. Light armor will level up naturally. Mysticism is only useful for the soul trap magic, and we have other options to take care of that. You know what? Mercantile and speechcraft might be very useful to us. We could go for a very sociable playthrough. These are skills that we will not be practicing too often, that will not focus on our level ups too much, but it's always good to have a boost to these skills at the start of the game. I think we're ready to go. Good enough. It gives you the warrior icon because that's what Boris assumes of you.
I don't think you'll have any trouble.
Definitely not the image I would have expected of myself.
You must get the amulet to Joffrey. Take no chances, but proceed to Wayne Priory immediately. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. The Emperor's trust was well placed. I'll stay here to guard the Emperor's body, and make sure no one follows you. You better get moving. May Talos guide you. By the way, thanks for recovering Captain Renault's sword. I'll see that it is given a place of honor in the halls of the Blades.
And he steals it from you. Right out of my hands. You don't get the permission to decline him. Luckily, we kept this sword. We'll need it. Always remember, look in every corner you can find. And that is a lap cat. He demands attention, so I will give him attention. That's a very fancy sword. I appreciate it. Alright, true to our skill investment, we're going to have to start sneaking. And continue walking like this until we get out of here. Rat. 6 times damage, that's exceptional. The spells you pick, or the skills that you pick, will actually give you a few extra starting skills. So we're going to invest in a couple of these. I've never used Turn Undead, it's not very useful at all. Soothing Touch, that gives me an idea. Hey, buddy. You're also a buddy. Look at these nice gents. Beautiful. I think we'll let them be. Just because they were so polite to us. You too. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do a pacifist run for this game. That would be hilarious, though. My goodness, he's too powerful. You stop it. No. This is a very peaceful sewer. Excuse you. I think we're good to go. Here it is. Another VTuber crawling out of the sewer the first time. Alright. We are on our own from this point onward. Do we have any suggestions on what we should be doing first? Anything you would like to see? I'll just begin aimlessly wandering towards the Imperial City, the place we just escaped from. But we'll be doing fine for ourselves. I set my graphical quality to ultra high. Why do I see Windows 98 polygons in the background? I will have to fiddle with the settings once more after this, but we know we definitely won't be getting any frame drops. What a lovely day it is. Even with those 2006 graphics with those billboarded trees, it still looks beautiful. I remember a few gaming magazines actually gave this a reward for best presentation of flora. All those leaves are billboarded as well. They're just 2D images drawn facing towards the camera. Want to see something really scary? If you start rotating your camera, the leaves rotate with you. That's what it's called, by the way. The billboard effect. Whenever something is rendered as a static image that is always facing towards you, we don't need this torch. I was looking for what we'd use for our last bind. Heck, we don't need any torches past this point. We have a light spell. I hope you love the color green. I know I do. I think we'll sell all the useless junk we're not currently using.
Me children are starving, please help.
That's a good start.
Hi!
Hello.
What do we got going on, weird Leviathan? It's Oblivion, you'll have to narrow it down. Everything in this game is weird.
Say, you look like someone that could help us out.
That's another unfortunate side effect of Lightsfeld. Everyone starts glowing.
Can I interest you in some of
First,
my
I'd love you to
wares?
buy my stuff. I could use that dagger later. The staff is interesting.
You've made a good bit of gold.
Arrows are an excellent way to make money in this game, because every one will sell for a certain minimum value. I personally don't use scrolls, so I think we can get rid of those as well. Bear pelts have no use in this game because there's not a crafting system, and neither do all the rubies. Those torches weigh nothing, and they're certainly not weighing us down. That's exactly why they won so many awards for the presentation of plants, grass, and trees and the like. They handled the billboarding of those trees so extremely well that you don't even notice it.
He is dirty. Plain and simple. I don't trust him at all. Won't even come to the merchant meetings and sets his prices so low. He undercuts everyone.
Sounds like he needs a
If
bath.
you want to give me a hand, go speak with Jensine at her good-as-new merchandise store. She can clue you in and maybe offer some coin.
I think that's an excellent start. Let's go ahead. I will just wander aimlessly on my own until someone delivers me a suggestion. Where's this Jensine's good as new merchandise? Detour. Because there's something very important we need to have.
Edgar Vautrin, you don't want the very best. You want cheap. And I got cheap.
Oh, I agree with that, brother.
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
Egads. He doesn't have a single shock spell for us. That's exactly why I wandered over here. What kind of a wizard would I be if I wasn't flinging
Can I
lightning
interest you
bolts at
in
everyone?
Some of my wares?
Phooey.
Farewell.
We'll have to buy a lightning bolt from someone else. Like, maybe this guy. I feel like one of these guys has
Welcome to the Mystic Emporium.
that sort of a mage emblem, but only sells magical items and doesn't actually sell spells.
Look.
Was it this
and
guy?
buy. Nothing could be easier. I offer
No.
the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Electric touch is nice, but I would have preferred something ranged. Shame. He's not offering us anything useful either.
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
Those are useful. One thing I appreciate about all the merchants in the city is they all have one unique item with an incredibly powerful enchantment for you to buy. This guy in particular has one of my favorite staffs available in the game. It's one that deals 99 points of damage.
Hello.
Split evenly between your 3 offensive elements.
Tidings, citizen.
We're looking for a Jensine's good as new merchandise. And there it is. What guild should we be joining first? Fighters, mages, or thieves? If you want to see me steal stuff, or throw lightning bolts, or smash some goblins with an axe.
Feel free to browse, friend. It's nice to see a new shopper. I was afraid I lost any hope of new business ever since Thorinir opened up.
That is an extremely square chin. I'm in awe. That's... Look at that jawline. The people in Oblivion look absolutely horrible.
So, Tertullian sent you, huh? Well then, he usually sizes up people well, so you may be just what we're looking for. I'm the chairperson for the Society of Concerned Merchants. We formed this group a while back to keep a nice, fair economic balance in town. Not every store is a member, but we're slowly trying to convince them to join. everything was fine until Thorinir opened his shop nearby.
A merchant's guild, probably.
Selling all sorts of merchandise, he undercuts prices like you wouldn't believe. He doesn't always sell what we sell, but it is still a problem. People who buy tend to want to spend their money there. That leaves none for us. It's getting so bad a few of us may have to close up shop. He outright refuses to join the society or even discuss the matter.
I like how society is capitalized. Highlights its importance.
Case his establishment and figure out where he gets his inventory. Find some proof of his wrongdoing and let us know.
This might be our first sneak mission.
As he recognizes
A good
all of us.
application of our
The
skills.
job pays a fair bounty in gold when he is brought to justice. May I interest
What do you have
in
to
some
sell?
of my fine wares?
That's also a very interesting item. We might have to take that one later. I actually don't think any of those items are available for theft. They're specifically only in their inventories.
We had no other place to turn.
Yeah, you can't pickpocket them off there. If I recall correctly, most merchants store their entire inventory in a chest that's somewhere just outside of the cell. Those legendary items that we want so badly, unfortunately, we will have to purchase. Who's this? Gray Fox, wanted for theft, embezzlement, forgery, pickpocketing, counterfeiting, burglary, conspiracy to commit theft, grand larceny, tax evasion, slander, fraud, perfidy, and impertinence. I forgot what that meant. Wears a gray cloak that conceals his appearance. Presumed male in Colovian. Height between 5 and 6 feet. That's a very wide range. That doesn't narrow it down at all. Normal weight, hair and eye color unknown. Well, it seems like the most generic descriptor, if you'd ask me.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
Nothing.
Let's go ahead and set that as our active quest.
I'd like
See what's going on here. We need to go see what's going on with this Thorinir fellow. Of course he's a wood elf.
What kind of deal can I make for you today?
With an equally large chin.
What about my inventory? Well, thank you. It's not only a fine assortment of goods, but a bit of a treasure trove. You never know what I'll have in stock.
We'll be
I can
polite
see
while
by
we're
the look
casing
on
him
your
for
face.
information.
You wonder where I get all these fantastic items. I'll tell you what I tell everyone else who asks. It's all about who you know. My sources are good, but they are secret.
Sounds
Anyway,
fishy.
have fun looking round, and when you are ready to buy, give me a shout. We'll see.
You guys remember this minigame? Hello, Nev. Welcome to the stream. This is a very interesting minigame, and I'm actually upset they didn't bring it back. I know a lot of people didn't appreciate how
That
unimmersive it was, but I always appreciated it.
Ugh, that's foul.
You have 4 different expressions for 4 different actions you can do. And you want to match the largest wedge up with his happiest expression, and the smallest wedge with his angriest expression. And accordingly for all of his other
I
moves.
can't. Good. You should be ashamed.
You're not always going to get the optimal combination because these wedges randomize themselves every single time.
Ugh, good.
But if you get close enough, you'll do well.
That's right. Exactly.
He gave us an unconclusive answer on his inventory, and it doesn't look like it's giving us any more options if we
Only quality goods
butter
for
him up a
sale
little bit.
here. What can I interest you in? Goodbye. Hope to see you again very soon.
Really, I appreciate that minigame. It's fun. Watch what he does after shop... Oh, whoops. I don't think I want to do that in store. We have plenty of hours before the store closes. What else could we be doing to pass the time? I don't think we'd want to be heading to any other cities if we plan on continuing that quest line. Not too quickly. There's a quest line for you. Why don't we head to the arena, see what's going on?
I'm listening. What's new with you? They say
It's always a good place to start. So what do you think we should do first for our guild quests? Dark Brotherhood. That's a good suggestion, but I don't have anyone in mind that I'll be murdering so soon. That does give me an excellent idea, however. I'm going to show you one of the most important items in the game early on. I can't sneak my way in there. I think there was some sort of position where you could... Oh, yeah, you can open this box from the back here, but people will still notice you. Perhaps at night. Yeah, that isn't an option for us. Dark Brotherhood is excellent for making some early gold. If you know anyone that we would like to murder, indiscriminately, let me know. There is an option to do that at the end of the arena questline. I'm going to leave most of the content in here unspoiled, or I'm going to ignore spoilers because it's mostly a 15-year-old game. But I will dance around it.
Busy man, what is it? I don't know who you are, friend, but you've got about 10 seconds to tell me
10,
what you're doing in my
9,
works before
8,
I lop your arms off.
7, 6, 5.
What? You want to be a combatant? Look at you. My granny could beat you, and she's dead.
And so is the Emperor.
Wait, you're serious, aren't you? What is it with you people? You walk in, want to be combatants, and your entrails end up decorating my red room. All right, it's your funeral. Welcome to the arena, you filthy pit dog. You're free to fight so long as you know the rules of competition.
There's
Now, let me give
rules?
you your battle
It's an
uniform.
arena.
It's the uniform of all arena combatants.
I thought we're supposed to angrily scream at each other and hack each other to pieces. We're focusing on light armor for this playthrough.
You sure? I figured you for the heavy raiment type. You know, hide behind a skin of steel. Okay then. Here.
Normally I do actually
Put
go
that
for
on.
heavy armor.
See if it fits okay. When you're ready for a match, I'll be waiting.
Normally I play Battle Mage in Elder Scrolls games, but here I think we'll do things just a little bit differently. Rules of competition.
You fight for the blue team. You fight against the yellow team. In order to fight in the arena, you must wear an arena battle raiment. The battle raiment covers your entire body. You can use your own helmet, shield, and weapon, so choose those items
I agree,
wisely.
stick them before they stick me.
The battle raiment's already enchanted, so you can't muck with it. But aside from that, anything goes. Magic, stealth, whatever you need to win. You can compete in the arena any day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Just come to me, tell me you're ready for a match, and away you'll go. Got it? Good.
I think that's
If you
roughly the
actually
same
manage
time
to
frame that
win
most of the shops are open as
Don't
well.
get any ideas about
I
losing
think
your
it's
opponent's course.
8
That's
to
strictly
8 for them, though.
Gotta move on.
I will take your advice, Nev. Thank you for the reminder. I remember reading that 15 years ago, but I never personally kept it too far forward in my head. And they're on the other side, I believe. Right? We could use a level up in hand-to-hand for no good reason. Hey, if I had an invisibility spell, I might work with stealth. Let's just stare at these two real quick. Funny enough, she's wearing a hunting vest, which for some reason shows up as a bra on female characters. Very odd choice for this game. Hopefully that doesn't invalidate my experience. Notice how they're not even reacting to each other's attacks. Normally you'd stagger, one of the two of you, but it's very interesting how they've set this up. "5 points, that's miraculous. That alone will give us a good set of points for strength. Our highest stat is luck, of course. We're going to need it. Investing for such an optimized late-game build, though, will leave us weaker in the beginning. Which actually might be where we're strongest, given how weird the leveling system in this game is. Hello there, and welcome to the stream.
You haven't run home to Mama yet, huh? That's a good sign. So, you ready for a match, or do you just need some information?
I'm not falling for that one again.
Move on.
I know you need to equip that before you even talk to him, or he chews you out once
You
more.
haven't run home to...
There we go.
All right, maggot. Looks like you're suited up in your battle raiment and all set to go. The red room is just over there. When you're ready to get a...
Curious choice of team colors as well. Blue team and yellow team.
Good luck.
I don't think I've heard that in any other game. Why would they pick blue and yellow for their team colors? And this is, accordingly, the red room, because it's, well, covered in blood. This is actually a very inaccurate depiction of blood. Blood turns sort of a brown color as it lasts. As it clots and oxidizes. Don't ask me how I know that.
So let's not waste any time. Let the battle begin.
Did we invest in alteration? That should give us a shield. Well, apparently we do not have a shield spell. But we do have a Skelly Boy.
Take that!
Oh, wow. That's not going to work on her either. Something that's always disturbed me is that all of the arena combatants have very high speed stats. I think that's to prevent you from cheesing the fights by just running away the entire time. To your own race, but she looks like a high elf. Which will also mean she's weaker to magic, which we don't have anymore. There's a good result. Look at him, he seems so proud of himself. Watch him roar in triumph. Yeah, everyone give a round of applause for a good Skelly Boy. Please transfer that applause to me. Skelly Boy is no longer with us. He's gone to the great necromantic haven in the sky. There actually is a necromancer realm. In the Elder Scrolls universe, that is.
Busy man, what is it? By the 9 divines, you did it. You actually won. You ain't so bad after all, pit dog. You may even survive enough matches to advance in rank. Here, kid. This is your payout for the victory. There's more where that came from if you can keep on winning. Now go unwind before your next fight.
Alright, I'm done
Hey, so
unwinding.
you're not a complete loser. Don't get cocky. Let me know when you're ready for a match and you can prove yourself to me some more.
He snarks at you a lot. A lot.
Now that's the spirit. You give the people of Cyrodiil a good show, and I'll make sure you get a decent burial.
He continued laughing while his mouth was shut. I'd certainly be scared of him. Let's see how our equipment condition is doing. Our sword is still doing wonderfully. I always loved that terrifying bit of detail. You can see handprints in the blood splattered on the door here. Again, that shouldn't be that deep red color if it's implied to have been here a while.
People of the Imperial City, welcome to the arena. Who will prevail? yellow team or the pit dog from the blue team?
That guy. Definitely that guy. He's going to win. I'm rooting for him. How about you? Let's go with another Skelly boy. Boy, that was rather clean. Is his arraignment a green color? That's an Imperial voice, I believe. My stamina is low, so I'm not going to be doing much more damage to him. And pop out another Skelly boy and continue running while spamming healing spells. This is how you win early game. Are these combatants even leveled? Hopefully we're not dead yet. Staggering too much from hitting his shield though, and that's going to be the death of us if we keep fighting him head on. Of course, if we strike him while his guard is down, that's how we win.
Victor from the blue team, leave the arena now and rest. You earn it.
See, allegedly he's a member of the yellow team. Why is his raiment green colored? Mine is blue, which sounds appropriate. And I think even if you put on the heavy armor, that one's still blue. Why is his green if he's on the yellow team? A strike anyone else is odd.
Okay, so you did it again. What do you want from me, a hug? Take your gold and get out of my face, pit dog.
I'd like a hug. That's closer to the evening, but that last match was a bit too close of a scrape for me. See, this guy's on the blue team and he has a blue raiment, but... again, green for someone who's on the yellow team. And then this guy over here has red.
Hail, friend.
But he's a special
I don't believe
case.
I've ever seen you down here in the Bloodworks before. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Agranok Gromalag.
Color saturation, I didn't
Most
think
people
about
just call
that.
me the Grey Prince. It's
But
kind
that's
of
probably
silly,
very
I know.
true.
The people of Cyrodiil need heroes. I'm more than
After
happy
all,
to
this is an
oblige.
awfully pale orc.
Ah, so you're an arena combatant. It's always good to meet
But
a
that's why they
fellow
call them the
warrior,
Grey Prince,
especially
after
one who
all.
isn't here just to kill the grand champion.
What if I wanted to kill a grand champion?
I'm the reigning grand champion of the arena, you see. Once you become a champion, you'll need to challenge me for my title. It's a fight to the death. So if you progress that far and want a shot at the grand championship, you'll have to try and kill me.
That raises some interesting speculative questions, though. What if someone goes undefeated? What if he gets old and decrepit and too weak to fight? Are they still going to wheel him out to the arena? What if he disagrees? I suppose he could forfeit that title. Easily enough. After all, it's implied that he wants to keep it.
Yes, it's what everyone calls me. I guess I'm partly to blame. I have never made it a secret that I'm actually only half orc.
And what's the
I'm
other
a
half?
lord's
A
son,
turnip?
Yet I've been denied the noble privilege to which I'm entitled. So I have become the Grey Prince, noble in my own right.
This sounds like a D&D character
If I
backstory.
can prove who I really am and show the world that an orc can be noble in blood as well as deed, maybe, yes, you could help me.
Alright, Mr. Round Skull, what do we got?
I grew up here in the Imperial City, but I was born elsewhere. My mother was a servant in the employ of Lord Leviticus and resided at his fortress.
Leviticus.
Lady
I like that name.
Leviticus was a shrew of a woman. The Lord and my mother grew close and ultimately fell in love. I was the result of their union. When the lady learned of my birth,
Everyone
she
speaks
was
so
furious
poetically in this
and
game.
threatened to kill both my mother and me. So we fled, leaving my claim to nobility behind.
You know what? I like this guy. Let's let him
My
talk.
mother died recently. Before she passed, she gave me this key and told me it would unlock the truth at the place of my birth, Crowhaven. Crowhaven is a ruined fort far to the west of here. I'd go myself, but my training regimen doesn't allow for the luxury of such an excursion. My friend,
I wouldn't
you
consider
must
a
travel to
trip to an old
Crowhaven
fort
and use the
particularly
key to
luxurious.
unlock whatever it is that holds the proof of my birthright. Find this proof and return it to me, and I'll share with you some of my finest combat techniques. Trust me, you can't learn these moves in a book.
So, who wants to learn squicky fantasy science? And we will speculate on the truest nature of this orc. What time is it? 4:10. We have a little bit more time to kill. Figuratively. That Imperial armor is just so snazzy. I appreciate it. I don't think we'd want to kill a guard so early in this game.
Hi there.
I'd also rather not just kill some random important person, especially not in the middle of a city. Don't want to have the guards after me so soon. I'm too young to go to prison. What could we afford? Well, for one, perhaps some armor repair. How does that measure up against the rest of our armor? Not quite enough. Yeah. Looks like our regular armor here will serve us much better.
Herbal Grow Oracle knows you need axes and blunt weapons, big ones, so he makes them and sells them here.
I like the idea.
Slash and Smash, the big orc weapon shop. Big weapons for big heroes.
So are the orc weapons big, or is the
Not
orc
smart
big?
To carry around broken equipment.
Our shield was the lowest durability, which
Have a
means
look
we've done
around.
well to at least
You'll
block people's
find better
attacks.
prices in all Tamriel.
These are mostly blunt weapons. Unfortunately, he's not selling any swords we could be making better use of. I am curious about those repair hammers, but I think we'd rather find those instead of buying them. Mushrooms. Those are important. Those are the fly amanita, which actually give a restore health effect later, once our alchemy is good enough. That would have been an excellent skill to invest in, but unfortunately, leveling that up too much will make enemies stronger without making any of your actual combat stats stronger.
Rosan is a talented smith, one of the best around if you ask me.
I've heard he'll teach us skills.
Perhaps there's someone who sells better swords somewhere else around here. If you look at this distance, that first edition sign right there is starting to fade into the background. Yeah, there it is. See it? It's transparent. Obviously, the game seemed to have ignored me when I said I want it on its highest parameters. There it is. There's the person who sells swords.
Welcome to A Fighting Chance. I'm Rose.
She looks remarkably
I sell the
sad.
best swords in the city, and I offer advanced training for armorers.
Why does everyone look like a potato?
Only quality goods for sale here. What can I interest you in?
Those are damage stat effects, which are extremely valuable in this game. Every time you hit someone with that, their strength will permanently go down. You could even get someone too weak to carry their own equipment. Whack someone with this axe enough times, and they won't be able to move. Ooh. Now this is what we were here for. I agree, if you try to make a pacifist playthrough and keep leveling up, you will end up dying very quickly. I kind of want that steel longsword, but it's not going to serve us much better than the equipment we already have.
Goodbye.
Shame, I was hoping they might have something higher available.
How are you?
It's growing late into the evening. Let's, give ourselves just a little 3-hour wait. See what's going on with ya boy Thornir here. Please, ignore the inconspicuous dark elf who seems to be following you. Yeah, everyone else is walking around at the same time. I'm doing nothing suspicious. Look at these boys. Are they brothers? I think they're brothers. Always like the chainmail in this game. What's he doing? He went in here, right? This would be the least suspicious place for him to be. Alright.
Hello.
But why did he go behind the counter?
Why are you following me? Please, I'm very busy.
How do you do? There's a new ship moored up in the waterfront
We don't have any chameleon spells yet, so
district.
we can't be role-playing hiding ourselves too well yet.
Seriously? Without question. Do you want to learn about alteration? Speak with Dovin Aron. He's getting up in years, but he's still a good alteration teacher. Take care.
We have the exact same voice actor talking to himself. It's amusing.
What can I do for you?
Why did Bethesda always hire only like 8 voice actors for the same NPCs? Even in Skyrim, you find a lot of the same people talking.
What is it?
In Oblivion, it's even more egregious. They had the actors read off all of their lines in alphabetical order.
Well met.
Which is why so many of them are delivered with no emotional flair to them. What's the word I'm looking for? Inflection, that's the word.
Well met.
Well, I'm afraid my boy is just here drinking. Taking a sweet time. While I stand very non-suspiciously in the corner. You know, just eerily standing over here. To those of us who have just joined in on the stream, I'd like to give you a very pleasant surprise. My character is also anime.
Well met.
Behold Wonder Woman. I completely agree with your sentiments. Yeah, alphabetical order. I imagine they were pressed for time. I think they put a lot more investment on the more important NPCs. Patrick Stewart, for example, who happens to be dead, was given about 60 pages of character backstory for a character who's only alive for 30 minutes of the game. They got such a big name, Patrick Stewart, and gave him so much to set up with for such a short-lived presence.
Well met.
I can't immediately think off the top of my head. Is there anyone else who has a unique voice actor? Uriel's other son. He's voice acted by Sean Bean, so we're expecting him to die too, aren't we? That's what Sean Bean's most important role is. Dying. A lot.
Well met.
What can I do for you?
Wonder what sort of nonsense we can get ourselves into. Enchanting some boots with damage fatigue and watching people collapse in the streets? Yeah, Patrick Stewart probably did cost 90% of the voice acting budget. But that's one way to get this game sold.
Well met.
This was the first Elder Scrolls for a lot of people. Mine was Morrowind, and same with a lot of other Xbox nerds. Prior to that, I did not own Daggerfall, and I still have never played Daggerfall in my time. I don't think I ever will. As much as I love Elder Scrolls and plan on having a lot of Elder Scrolls content on this channel, the older ones are definitely dated at this point. There are projects in Unity to recreate the entire Daggerfall game in the Unity engine, which is certainly interesting. Yours was Daggerfall? Do tell me your experience. I'm very eager to learn.
What can I do for you?
Thorinir doesn't seem to be doing anything immediately, so we just saved our game and let's go ahead and wait just a little bit longer and see where he goes. How was your time playing Daggerfall? I imagine not so egregious back then when we hadn't had convenient games to get used to. He still sees me, or someone still sees me, so. I do believe your sneaking ability is measured by what boots you're wearing in this game, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to go barefoot on these filthy streets. Long and painful was my experience with Morrowind. I was only, 7 at the time? 8, perhaps? The game would have come out when I was 8, so 8 and 9, and I was trying to figure out the game. For my first character, I picked a Khajiit just because, me, being so intelligent, I'm obsessed with cats. I just thought that I could be a cat person and picked that. I have never played a Khajiit since in any Elder Scrolls game. That would have been the worst game to play a Khajiit as well. Well, they obviously noticed us, but that's not going to disrupt our quest. We'll save here as well, just in case we mess something up. Well, the guard is here to see their meeting.
Speak.
Do we just confront them? No, we have to stand close enough.
How many times have I told you that?
Sorry.
Right here,
kind of
where they can see me, plain as day.
Well, just shut up and listen to me.
Bright red hair flowing in the wind.
Will be sooner than I expected. Just have the money ready.
Same assortment of things? I mean, I have enough clothing for now.
You take what I get. I get notice at the last second, and I have to jump on it. No time to be picky about it.
You know, I've never done this quest before, actually.
Pressure on me, so maybe we better cut back for a while.
Always been too busy to tend to it.
Now, and I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Or maybe pay a visit to that Jensine and tell her about your little scheme.
This suddenly got a lot less legitimate.
Fine. You made your point. Contact me when you have the items, and we'll meet again.
Don't worry. It'll be very soon. Now get out of here.
Oh, I've been waiting so long to do this. Stop right there, criminal scum!
Please, go away. I'm quite busy.
Do we not get any options? I don't think we get any options.
Please, I'm very busy.
What about your boy
Yeah.
here?
Don't know anyone by that name. Now go away.
He's right here. You were just talking to him. You're walking together.
Yeah. Inventory? I am a simple trapper. My inventory just consists of pelts and skins. I would hardly...
Curious that they don't have a response for seeing you there. Where does that lead our next quest target? Ah, I never would have thought of that. We have to go see what Agarmir is doing. Is that supposed to be a Nordic name? Doesn't sound too Nordic to me. He does look like a greaser with that weird haircut. I think that haircut is actually referred to as gelled back by the game. Why does hair gel exist in a fantasy universe? Do tell me, how is Daggerfall worse for the giddy people? I know you couldn't equip helmets or certain boots in Morrowind. I'm not stabbing anyone until I have all the information I need from them, he said as he loudly walked behind this guy he's supposed to be silently tailing. There, let me bend my knees. That will make me much harder to notice. Excuse you, I'm sneaking here. Clink, clank, clink, clank. Mushroom detour. How is that worse? Why would looking human be worse? I suppose if we end up in an uncanny cat-human valley, I could understand that. I don't know too much about Khajiit in the Elder Scrolls lore, but allegedly, certain breeds of them just look basically like cat girls. I wouldn't mind playing as a cat girl, that would be amusing. In fact, allegedly there's different races of playable Khajiit between Morrowind, Skyrim, and Oblivion. I think Oblivion and Skyrim give you the same breed of cat, but they're actually different from the ones that you can play as in Morrowind. The ones in Morrowind have digitigrade legs, so they walk more like actual cats. I suppose I can understand. Go inside when he's not around and investigate. Well, it turns out my character's a lot smarter than me, because I would have confronted him right then and there. I suppose I understand your sentiments. Daggerfall does not look very pleasant for anyone.
What is it, citizen? Speak.
I might give it a play just to test my patience and my wits. That's, a bed right in front of the reception desk. That is bizarre.
What do you want? Why, yes, I do have a lovely...
I'm not paying 40 gold for a room. We don't have much more use for gold yet, but I'm going to be a cheapskate. Let's just go ahead and take a rest at the market district. Allegedly, our greaser Nord friend shouldn't be there during the day, shouldn't he? If he is a trapper, like he says. Yeah, I remember Daggerfall has an exceptionally large map, with the very odd specific metric of twice the size of Great Britain.
I do have a bed available for 20 gold.
20 gold is significantly more understandable. I do appreciate the real scale of that. Taking hours to travel between real cities. It does make it feel more immersive, and it's so exceptional that they managed it on such an old game. 95, wasn't it? 98? Or am I just thinking of Windows versions?
my ear, citizen.
Very real, very large cities. The door is unlocked, so it's likely that he's in there. This game seldomly... there we go. This game will seldomly lock you out of a quest line, so even if you get caught during a stealth mission, you can still complete it. He's still inside, and he's barred the door to his house. So... we might just have to wait until another evening. 93 or 95 certainly sounds appropriate for the Daggerfall release. Is there anything interesting we could be doing right now? We could make our way up to Coral.
Speak.
Just for an interesting exploitative, I don't even know if that's the correct word, little tidbit, we might complete the entire Mages Guild questline before we even do any bit of the main questline. And I could show you why.
I am Realus Gawe, and no, we don't sell horses, but we do eat well. The stables are owned by an orc, and you know, orcs and horses.
What about orcs and horses?
Sure, some folks here think horses are for riding. Then again, some of us are orcs. Snakrabura, she prefers eating stew to riding horses. Be seeing you.
A character focused around eating is... she can't be named Snack. Are you kidding me? What are all these horses out here? Are these just people's horses that they've stabled? Her name really is Snack Grabura.
I'm waiting.
What do you got to tell me?
The Chestnut Handy stables used to sell horses, but they're gone. Our horses, all gone. Big mystery. No idea where they went.
Her lips did not move. That was literally just the sound of gas escaping from between her open lips.
I almost walked into that one. No, of course not. That would be wrong. You shouldn't eat horses.
Well, I suppose that's a literal interpretation of the expression to be so hungry you could eat an entire horse.
Go on.
Having such a rude response to us leaving, though, means we gotta sweet-talk him. For no reason other than the experience.
Is that so? Don't great. Good one.
That doesn't leave us off any better than we were before.
You're such a... Not bad. Don't try to manipulate me. What? Such a... Not bad. You can't scare me.
This is working remarkably well for us at the beginning.
Not now? Sure. My life is drab and...
Of course, that's what happens when you actually invest in those stats towards the beginning of the game.
Pretty good. That's amazing.
What was your most hated response? It was admire.
Such a... Yeah,
so I probably shouldn't say anything about how it's wonderful that you apparently did not eat horses.
Yeah, I get it.
I am very appreciative of the fact that you did not eat a single horse at these stables.
Yeah, I get it.
That's enough smooth talking there. That will level up our personality, I believe. The Dark Brotherhood, you say?
I'm listening.
If someone were to have deprived me of the opportunity to purchase a horse, would make you think, wouldn't it? '96 being the release date for Daggerfall. That's exceptional that they managed to come out with Oblivion in such a short time then as well. Morrowind was 2003, I believe, right? Or was it 2002? leaves us with a 6-year gap between Daggerfall and Morrowind for such an amazing leap in game design. And an even shorter time between Morrowind and Oblivion. And despite that, this game looks absolutely beautiful.
How do you do?
Ah yes, the crown icon, I forgot.
Any news?
What would she be essential for?
Was tight, but buying discount spells seems like a bad idea.
Seems to me some things are
That gives me a reminder, that little eavesdrop discussion that we had there.
Bye.
BC.
We're going to need spells. So let's get some spells. And I know exactly where we can buy a good old lightning bolt. See, watch. Billboard trees. You're never going to not see that now. Horse armor is probably correct. I do remember it being an orc at the stables. And that seems to be the only orc there. Those hills definitely need some work. You can see the seams between all the loading cells. Given that Oblivion is much closer to the standard fantasy tropes, a good place to look for any quest is to step directly into an inn. Usually the innkeeper will have something for you.
Welcome to the Walnut Inn. Could I interest you in a room or perhaps a bit of wine?
You're one of the least ugly people I've met today. How's that for a compliment?
Yes, actually, I'm quite fond of collecting all manners of wines from all over Tamriel. But one vintage continues to elude me. Shadow Banish wine. How I'd love to add it to my collection. Say,
Bizarre
that
name.
gives me an idea. You look like the adventuring type. If you can retrieve 6 bottles of Shadow Banish wine, I'll gladly pay you well. All I know about them is that they're found in the many fort ruins scattered all over Cyrodiil.
You know, I don't remember finding any bottles on my own previously. They might only start appearing after you begin this quest.
Well, apparently the wine is so rare because it was only made in one tiny batch. It's the product of an alchemist who was also a vintner. Besides tasting incredible, the magic within the wine allows the imbiber to be gifted with night eye.
So that would explain
Vintner
the
made
Shadow
it special
Banish.
for the Legion soldiers posted at the fort
Shadows
when
be
they were
gone
active long ago.
with every sip.
It was perfect for keeping lookouts warm on cold nights and helping them see better in the dark. Clever, eh? Keep looking for that wine. Farewell.
Well, there's ourselves another quest. Next, I say we will be heading to Skingrad. As for why Skingrad, it's because that is the Mages Guild that focuses most on destruction. And we need a lightning bolt. If you'd like to know one little bit as to why I'm so obsessed with scaring a lightning bolt, the lightning magic actually has a projectile twice as fast as that of fire or ice, so it will fare a lot better for us in long-range combat. Especially if I ever actually take this armor off and start using proper spellcasting technique. Yeah, I never saw the Shadow Banish wine. Interesting how a different perspective on beginning this game will grant you quests you never discovered before. I can't remember how long I played my first Oblivion character. That might be the most I played of any Elder Scrolls character. It might have been over 500 hours, who knows. I do appreciate Skingrad. Some of the maneuverability around there is difficult. But it is one of my favorite cities in this game. Also the one with the most expensive house, I believe. I do appreciate the bridges moving across the center. Going this way, I always run across Clavicus Vile's shrine. Will he speak to us? No, he will not. We're at level 1, so pretty much every Daedric shrine will ignore us. I'll let you in on the secret, though. If we cheated, we could actually begin that quest at our current level. But we're going to act a bit reasonably with our playthrough. It's not fun if you min-max right out of the gate. Sure, we might exploit game mechanics for the lulz, but I'd rather not just speedrun all the best items for us to obtain. Especially considering how most quest rewards are leveled to a sort. So if we get something amazing and special now, it will not be so special later. I might start a new profile when we have a lot more traction on this channel. New save and perhaps a different approach. I'd like to ask my viewers what exactly they'd expect to see. All the jank of Oblivion, or would they prefer the style with a bit more substance? A D-leveled world, perhaps. And somewhat better looking potato people. I remember one of my favorite exploits was stacking weakness to magic 100% for 1 or 2 seconds on a weapon. Since it's a weapon enchantment, it technically counts as a different spell every time it's reapplied. So, it starts doubling on itself. Every time you apply a new weakness to magic effect, it doubles, because weakness to magic is also affected by weakness to magic. You see that dodge? That was slick. Absolutely slick. Your mage's skills will level up much faster, but I don't think we want Restoration to be contributing to our level ups given how frequently we'll be using it. We'll pick skills that we use most of the time. In fact, it might have even been best to just pick specifically mid-combat skills. After all, if combat skills are the only skills that are contributing to our level ups, then we shouldn't outpace the skills that make us level up. Flax is also very important because it gives you Restore Magicka, I believe. Let's test. Who attacks? Oh. That's a simple explanation. And I was still hit by such a slow arrow. Look at how slow those are. It's astonishing. Ah, the classic Oblivion run forward with bow drawn. How whimsical. Ah, we hadn't even done any alchemy yet. Let's see, flax seeds. Restore Magicka. And those mushrooms also give us Restore Magicka. So that will be important to us. We should pick up every single flax we come across. As well as those steel blue mushrooms. I did play another alchemist character recently and did pick alchemy as one of my major skills. But I quickly outleveled my ability to fight anything, and so for a while, I was stuck just saving my level ups because I wasn't powerful to fight anything around me. Kinnereth. Alright, that's a good shrine to pray at. What does that fortify for us? Agility. That might be one of the less useful stats for us to increase. There's a highwayman. And this is a skeleton.
Pay up, or else.
I just conjured a skeleton right in front of you.
Actually, that's the way this one prefers it.
Are you not scared?
Jump on my sword while you can.
What if we debated philosophy instead? He rejects my philosophical invitations. We can't shoot lightning from our fingertips, but we can definitely shock someone. I don't think any of those items give us better defense than what we already have. Nope. Unfortunately not. Off towards the blue marker we go. Well, here we are already. Except the city just loaded in for me. Despite my appreciation of the Elder Scrolls' specific fantasy aesthetics, I do sort of have a guilty appreciation for the more generic fantasy we find here in Oblivion. Yes, my cat continues to make noise. There's my favorite Khajiit. I have one of my own. Speaking of Khajiit breeds from earlier, there's actually one sub-breed of Khajiit which has the appearance of a house cat, but still retains all the intelligence of sapient creatures. They often act as spies because no one expects the house cat to be more than a house cat. You know, I'm feeling like a good Samaritan today.
One more coin, and I can get a pair of Thank you, kind sir. Blessings of Akatosh upon you.
I don't think that provides any bonus in this game. In Skyrim, it gives you better bartering prices.
How do you Greetings, guildmate.
What's the latest?
I think you need to speak to the head of the guild.
What? I'm rather busy right now. Oh, is this about joining the Mages Guild? I suppose I could spare the time, if necessary.
She also looks somewhat less horrible than the other NPCs. Why are you glaring at me? Is my personality that abhorrent? Why would you dare?
Sorry, I can't. What nonsense. Don't. That's just stupid.
You only need to remember the locations of the largest wedge and the smallest one.
Funny.
And then you should be able to win the speech challenge just
You
fine.
win this one. Great. That's not. I can't argue with that. Sorry, I don't get it. Great. Don't waste. I won't fight you. Not now. My love. That's just stupid.
Ah, right.
What a dumb joke. You've got a.
I seldomly do Thieves Guild questlines in games. I don't usually spec into stealth.
My life. That's just not funny. You think that gracious? You've.
I don't appreciate your tone.
You're interested in joining? Great things will be expected of you. Are you sure you're ready for it?
Let's
Then
continue.
You are now an associate of the Mages Guild. You must receive a recommendation from every local guild hall in Cyrodiil before you may advance through the ranks of the guild. In the meantime, as a member of the guild, you now have full access to the guild halls around Cyrodiil. Only the Arcane University is closed to you.
Look at that smile. She seems so proud of me to be here.
I'm afraid I haven't given it much thought. I'm rather busy, you understand. My research occupies nearly all of my time. Now that I think about it, I do have a small problem concerning Earthor. He's one of the guild mages here. Think you can do something about it? Excellent.
I'll hop to it.
I just don't have the time to search for him again, but I do need to consult him about some notes he borrowed. You might want to ask around and see if anyone can be of some help. Let me know when he's back, and you'll have your recommendation.
She's the head of the guild hall here. Usually the more authoritative members will have higher level spells.
I hear you got quite a tent.
We'll have to speak to the peons here in order to actually score ourselves a spell. My friend, do you have any cheaper electric spells? That one will empty us out in only 2 casts. Ah, never mind. 4.
What? Who are... May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
There we go. This one will be much easier for us. But you know what we have to do. We have to rotate some cheese wedges. I can't read Argonian expressions.
Talk tough to me. Yeah. Good. That's cute. Yeah, I get it. Please.
This one's definitely confusing me.
Goodness. So, that's pretty good. That's cute. You think that's pretty far-fetched.
That's doing much better for us.
Really? What a fool you are. Not bad. Not bad at all. No, I doubt it. Good. What? That's pretty far-fetched. Yeah, that's...
Sometimes you get very bad rolls through and through.
Really? Now you're such... Yeah, I get... Goodness, what can I say?
This should be getting us close to the maximum that we can have for now.
Talk tough to me. No. Yeah, good. What a fool you are.
Ah, there we are.
That works for me. Have a look around.
Let's see if we can haggle something a little bit cheaper. I might want to buy more than a lightning bolt while I'm here. Unfortunately, we can't buy many of the spells that are here. Most of them are above our abilities.
I haven't seen him in quite some time, but then, this isn't the first time he's been away, so I wasn't really that concerned.
But who would know?
Yes?
Do you
a
know?
nice enough guy, I suppose, but there was that awful scamp incident last year. That's when Adriana told him he needed to practice somewhere else.
Scams?
Somewhere else. Meaning somewhere far away. So we settled down in Bleak Flats Cave. Did all the work,
there we go.
came back to town
There's the
for
answer we've been
10
looking
years.
for.
Hasn't been around lately, though. Oh dear. I just can't seem to remember where that is. What a shame. I'm here.
Let's see if the person standing right next to you knows anything.
Good day. It's just northwest of Skingrad.
Well, that was easy.
See it on the map? That's
Remarkably
where Berthor
easy.
wound up after Adrian told him he couldn't practice in the guild hall anymore. She probably doesn't even remember that. You might want to make sure she remembers, especially the part about it being her idea. Good luck finding Earthor.
We get a similarly cheap spell, but I think much more important to us is actually throwing fireballs or lightning bolts at people. We do get a fireball spell
You're
here.
about that recommendation, I presume. I'll need to speak with Earthor before I write it. He's... well, Salinas should be around here somewhere.
I already talked to
I
him.
remember telling him to go there. Well, we'll just have to do something about that, won't we?
Ah, goodness.
By we, I mean you, of course.
Please excuse me.
I have something that may help. It's a basic fireball spell, in case you need to defend yourself. I'll be here when you get back. Good luck.
I think the spell is completely unleveled. Also, if you look in the dev tools, it's half the cost of what it should be. This is only slightly more expensive than the starter spell that you get, despite doing almost triple the damage over time. Even taking into account the cost reduction from it happening over time, it's still undercosted. If you want a starter spell, then that's a good one to pick. You get it for free doing this questline as well. It feels so good to be home again. I always loved the sound effects in this game. Sounds so mysterious and arcane when you throw that lightning bolt. Exactly what lightning gives out that hum? Right before you cast it. It's unique and unforgettable. We'll see what we can make real quick. I don't think we picked up any more Restore Magicka effects, but we will be needing those soon enough. No useful effects yet. %, but if I removed the shield... There is a bit of an exploit in this game. You can have a shield equipped, but if you're using a two-handed weapon, it won't count towards your spell effectiveness reduction. That being said, having the shield equipped will still give you all of its enchantments. So if you have a very powerful defensive fortification on a shield, you can equip a two-handed weapon and it will still continue while giving you all of your spellcasting power, if you're not wearing any other armor at the same time. There's where we should be going. As much as I love lightning bolts, they may not be too useful for us in this next quest. Oh, wait. I forgot, this is where it is. The giant Nirnroot. Nearly as tall as your character. We will not be picking that up. Instead, we will be admiring it every single time we pass by. There's also a giant mud crab in one of these caves, but I forget where it is. I appreciate that the devs leave those little secrets for you to find. That is the only giant Nirnroot in the game. But once it's picked up, it's functionally no different from any other Nirnroot. Here we go. Dungeon diving. While we have our maximum spell effectiveness... Oh, that's the wrong spell. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. I think the zombies actually have a specific fire weakness as well, which would make that spell that they gave us a much better use of our magicka. You can also just cast any spell willy-nilly and it will still level up your stats. I don't think you can do that in Skyrim, I believe. It has to actually have an effect, and so most spells have to be cast in combat. I remember on my very first playthrough I just made an incredibly cheap summon skeleton spell and spammed that over and over, and got to level 100 Conjuration in a single afternoon. It helps that Conjuration is one of the fastest leveling skills as well. We have enough speed to where we'll be able to just, you know, casually step out of every single one of his attacks. It shall be a much easier fight for us, given that we have a blade. Just a little bit of extra range. It sure takes them forever to go down, though. That fireball will help us a lot. Oblivion also does not take into account the cost of spells when you cast them, so casting that level 1 summon a skeleton for 3 seconds effect will give you as much experience as one of your bigger important summon spells. You can literally just create a spell with the minimum possible effect and duration and spam that over and over on your travels. And there's our first level up ready. I can't remember if there are any beds in this dungeon. Once you get to the end, that is. We've been through here. No, we have not. I see them. We'll map this to our usual spot for now. And to optimize our damage, we will cast this fireball once every 3 seconds or so. Except now we're out of Magicka. Except we're not out of Magicka. I have potions. Very curious that the potions you create are so dramatically different from the ones you pick up. The ones you can craft yourself have an effect over time as opposed to the instantaneous effects of most that you find in the game. I wonder what gave them such a design decision. They're dropping bone meal, which is unusual because I think normally they give mort flesh. I don't know why these zombies specifically give us bone meal.
Help! You've got to do something! You, how did you get in here? Are those horrible creatures gone? I'm not going anywhere until they're gone. Horrible things.
I understand, buddy. I hate zombies too. Can I use your bed real quick? We have an excellent set of bonuses here. I'm not going to worry too much about optimizing my builds, however. Perhaps if we ever have a second playthrough, an official and very important playthrough, I hope to pick a mod that would be much more effective on leveling. I've seen a few mods which will automatically give your character level ups to their stats, so you don't have to optimize your builds and do your 555s or your 551s. I'm so pleased that they did away with that. Min-maxing does not belong in an RPG. What do you call people that play like that? I think they're called munchkins? Players who only play to win. They will metagame whatever the strongest character they can in D&D, for example. Please do tell me where that last zombie is. Well, there's our answer. Simple enough. That light spell does not last as nearly as long as we need it to. How long is that? Only 30 seconds? 60 seconds. Curious. I know you can acquire some feather spells which are stronger than the maximum duration you can give yourself. Are there better light spells which go past the normal maximum amounts you can make? Because light is a very cheap effect.
They're all gone? I can leave the cave? Oh, thank you. I'm ever so grateful. You're heading back to Skingrad, aren't you? Could I maybe come with you? It'd be safer, I think. So, what do you say?
You're welcome to follow
thank
me,
you.
sir.
You're just too kind. I'll be right behind you.
Stick behind me, but not too close. Given that we're not wearing any armor which would do better for our stats, I think letting those luxurious crimson locks flow in the wind would be better for us. Look at how pretty we are. I speak with the royal we, of course. Gaze upon my majesty and despair. That's a rat. That is not a very helpful spell when I am fighting a rat. Nonetheless, though, a panic light would be definitely how I'd approach most problems. Another curious side effect of the leveling in this game is that most creatures you find are replaced with different ones at higher levels. Almost a subtle idea that some species are even going extinct or endangered as you get stronger. Could it be that you hunted them out of existence? Whose horse is this? Well, someone's detecting me. That's not immediately getting me into trouble, though. Your horse? My horse. I think it's one that's supposed to be in the stables there, but might have escaped. Yeah, eventually everything becomes ogres. I think those are classified as a fantasy creature. There's a certain few set of tribes in this game. Wolves, mountain lions, and bears are all some sort of animal. Predatory animal, carnivorous animal. But ogres, I believe, were in the part of fantasy creature classification, which, if I remember, Minotaur lords are the strongest ones. Eventually, everything just becomes bullmen. He doesn't have anything to say to us when we get back.
I've heard many tales of Black Marsh. It sounds like a truly mysterious place.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Adrian, I'm
Hello,
back.
apprentice.
I
Yoink.
was rescued.
Yoink. Yoink, 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 yoink. Yoink, yoink.
I presume.
I don't think she was paying attention.
I think his name is Earthor, not Unharmed.
Oh, spare me. You're lucky I bothered to
Hello,
send someone
Lord
after you at all.
Hi there.
In the
What's
future,
the
would you
latest?
please be
Went
more
to the chapel
careful?
yesterday, but Belandris was the only one there.
Well, yes. I'll just pack up
figured
my
I'd come
supplies
back
and be
another
on my way then. Thank you for sending
I think
someone to
I'd
help
rather
me.
take my
Where does he head to after this?
than have that
How are
man
you
try
today?
to heal me.
Fantastic.
So I
Yeah, the Minotaurs that guard the
All
unicorn.
talk about the Emperor's
We
murder.
could use that as a horse,
No
at least until we get the better horse in the meantime.
happened before.
Good day.
It's been one day and they're already talking about the Emperor's murder.
I've spoken with Earthor, who seems to be all right. Good work. I'll see to it that your recommendation is sent in as soon as I have a free moment.
She always
As
acts
I
like a
said, I'm not
busybody.
busy. I'll get to it eventually, though, I assure you.
What else are you doing that's so important? You're just usually wandering around in circles around this hall.
The Elder Council will take care of things.
Well,
My academic graduation is better than whatever you're currently handling at the moment. What else do we have? Ah, we could return to this. I don't think we'll be finding anything unique and interesting along that road, so why don't we fast travel? If it's a route I've taken before, sometimes I will. I've gotten into the habit of not doing it in any game regardless. Ah. 2:08 a.m. Does anyone remember what time we were following Thorinir? We'll just spend a couple of times waiting out a few hours here. I don't think he's going to be available for perhaps another 20 hours. Is he out of the house in the afternoons, though? That's a yes. Hello, person who did not notice me standing right next to your house for the entire time you were sleeping. No suspicious activity going on here, officer. I'm going to try to break as few picks as possible. I always try to patiently handle this. I never liked the post-Fallout version of this minigame. This one I think is a lot more accurate to how lockpicks work, isn't it? I'm being impatient once more. Darn, that was a good one. And we are in. Let's see what we got. Perhaps something important on the inside here. Ooh, I will take that. I will make very good use of it. If it's stolen, and then it disappears from your inventory, there's no evidence I've committed a crime now, is there? Well, there goes the repair hammer I did not steal. Would you happen to have any more? Similarly, you can create potions out of stolen ingredients, and no one will know the difference. If there's nothing incriminating in his bedroom, there should be something in his basement, correct? It's funny how easily the lockpicking skill is obsoleted. You can pick up the skeleton key quite easily, and the entire tree of alteration completely nullifies the usefulness of that tree. Oh, heavens. That's a lot of bone meal. Dirty shovel and mud-encrusted boots. That would be the same conclusion I would have drawn. He's been grave robbing. He might have been doing worse than grave robbing. What have we got in here? I have found a manifest that seemed to detail names of the recently deceased, what they were buried with, and their locations in Cyrodiil. I should take this macabre manifest and confront Thornir, as he may not realize where his merchandise is coming from. What an impressive assortment of items. Do you think he'll notice if all the bone meal is suddenly gone? I don't think he will. It will definitely not be missed. No more repair hammers, it seems. We'll make our... Oh, there's more. We'll make our do without. What a speedy recovery we shall make. What a curious effect, though. Is Thornir just complicit and innocent in this issue? I did take the book, didn't I? Did I not take the book? Thank you for catching that, Nev. I appreciate that you're paying attention when I am not. I spend too much time following those little compass markers. Luckily, he's not arrived yet again. Yoink. All the candle lighting just makes it far more sinister than you'd expect it to be. Surely he could just read that while indoors. With the lighting from a window, perhaps.
Argonian, the one from yesterday.
The cat continues to make noise. He's been awfully vocal tonight. He has food and water, but I'm sure he just wants to go outside. He has been hounding me for attention, which is strange, because he's not a hound. Mushroom break. And nothing of use was found. I shall confront him with a novel about grave robbing.
Welcome back.
This might not be very useful without context.
I can't believe what I'm seeing in this book. I'm mortified to think these things here were once on the bodies of the recently deceased. It's just too horrible to comprehend. I don't even know what to say. I guess an apology is not enough. What can I do? Yes, that's the least I can do.
What a curious twist.
First and foremost, I will never meet with him again. I can promise you that. Secondly, I remember him mentioning a place he had to be this very day.
But at sunset, he might not be there anymore.
Yes, that's right. He said that he wouldn't be able to do anything else, as he had something important to do. You don't think he would dig up another... Oh, no, he wouldn't.
He's definitely
But I guess
digging
he
up more
has.
graves.
Oh, my. What have I done? Yes, you do that.
Stop him.
And in the meantime, I'll decide what to do with all these ill-gotten things. I'm so sorry.
He seems like such a suspicious fellow. It's pleasant to know that he's doing a lot better for himself. What an upstanding citizen. Well, not particularly upstanding. Bosmer are not that tall. In fact, I believe their women are taller than the men. What a bizarre amount of dimorphism. Funny how it directs me exactly here. Normally I'd have to, what, walk around the entire place? This is where our calm spell would be useful.
I had a feeling you'd catch on sooner or later. That's why I had this trap prepared for you. If you'll notice, the grave is already dug.
We don't have a peaceful option, do we?
Something away from the graveyard. It was to add something. I'm afraid all I can offer you is an unmarked grave.
You're balding.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Oh, he has an enchanted weapon.
Ow! Send your bloody soul straight to Salutations.
I can calm your buddy. That makes this fight much easier.
Do your worst.
Here, have a skeleton boy. And heal off some of that damage. The superior affinity with magic spells seems to be doing us a lot better than just wearing some armor at the beginning. Agarmir has been slain. Since the penalty for grave robbing is death, it somehow seems as though justice has been done. I should search the gravesite for anything potentially incriminating. I'll leave it as a challenge. What if we can leave this guy alive? Be a calm boy, please.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Ah, it's no longer working. Probably because my skeleton boy attacked him. Which is a shame. He was probably an upstanding citizen. I'll take this totally not suspicious bone meal. Agarmir's shovel. I've acquired Agarmir's shovel with the still damp with the fresh earth of the open grave. This is the final bit of proof I need for Agarmir's crimes. I should bring it back to Thornir. But what evidence do we have that it's his? It would seem like it's just any ordinary shovel, correct? A valuable sword, but not a particularly useful one. After all, draining willpower and endurance for only a short amount of time during battle will not help us in the long run. Draining stats are hardly ever useful unless they're health. Usually the effect is far too costly for it to be worth it. Why do that when you get damage with those effects instead? There are exploits, however. You'll notice previously that I mentioned doing something along the lines of a weapon with weakness in magicka. If you pair that with drain effects, you can make a weapon that will kill just about anything in an exponentially decreasing amount of time. Even if they have thousands upon thousands of health points, you can kill them in, say, 5 swings. Because for only a second, if you have it drain health 100 points for a single second, it's going to be a very cheap effect that it reduces their maximum health.
Were you able to stop?
But even if they have thousands of health points, if you reduce that below 0 for only a second, that will still kill them.
Then we can at last rest. I feared had he somehow bested you, I'd be next. It is fortunate that your skills exceeded his. I've come to some decisions. I intend to donate all of the money I have made, as well as what is left of these stolen items, to the temple.
What a pleasant fellow.
I also want you to know that I had a long discussion with Jensine, and I have decided to join the society. I realize you risked your life to give me a chance, and Thorinir never forgets things like that. Accept this ring as a humble reward.
What a noble society it
it's the
is.
least I can do to say thank you. Now, don't be a stranger. The copious coin purse is still in business.
Weatherward circlet. What does that do? It's a small bonus.
Shown me mercy.
I can make do
I
with
won't
it.
Forget that. It is good to see you. We'll see.
Let's raise his disposition a bit, shall we? See what we can sell to him.
What a what? That never happened.
Like that
You're
sword that we're not making much use of. Well,
May I
alright
interest
then.
you in-
I'll take that as a compliment. As if I am revolting against higher powers. I probably can't sell much higher than 60%. I could even sell him back the ring. It's always curious how merchant inventories work in this game. You also get a bouquet of flowers because you're so cute.
Another satisfied customer.
Look at him. He's just so squat and smiling.
You've shown me mercy. I won't forget that. Thank you.
Mercy, you say? Well, it's good that you're still marked as an essential character.
Hello.
Can't do anything to him. He's still too important.
I have been anxiously awaiting your return.
Oh boy.
The very thought of what Agarmir was doing sickens me. I hope those poor souls rest in peace now that this is over.
I wonder if there's an option to discuss this with her before actually confronting Agarmir about it.
Well done! This shovel will certainly confirm Agarmir's crimes. Along with the manifest, it should prove useful to the City Watch. In your absence, Thorinir visited, and we spoke at length about his role in this scheme. I believe him when he says he didn't know Agarmir's sources. He told me of his intentions to donate all of the money and inventory to the local temple. He also agreed to buy and sell merchandise at fair prices.
Hopefully not before I was
Last
done
but
with
not
him.
least, he's officially joined the society. I am taken aback by his honest intentions. In return,
Still
the
racist against
society
wood
has
elves, I
decided
see.
not to press charges.
Oh well.
His name will be absconded from the records of this crime. Now, I'm sure you are waiting to
Is
hear
this
about
society
your
of yours holding its own
The
criminal
society
record
thanks
history?
you for everything you have done. Please.
I'm not
take
sure you
this
have the
gold.
authority to have that.
Many thanks on behalf of all of us. It's been
That's a
pleasure
measly
doing
sum
business
for
with you.
uncovering grave robbing. 100 gold, that's absurd. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I think that would make for an excellent stopping point for us. You've been an absolutely wonderful and engaging audience, and I'm glad to have had you. Would you like to see more of Oblivion, or perhaps Guilty Gear, or some other games? Please let me know. I will intend to be streaming for most of the days this week, but given that I am back to my normal working schedule, I might be busy. Might take 1 or 2 days off during the week, but I do hope to be having a very full streaming schedule most of the time. Let me know what more you'd like to see. I've had fun here. Definitely looking forward to playing more of Oblivion and Strive, or anything else you would suggest. Good night. And I hope you've had as much fun with this as I have.